Hello and welcome to HighDesign. In this tutorial, we will explore doors and windows and learn how to insert them into walls, set their properties, and modify them. Doors and windows are parametric elements of the project. They respond and are controlled by parameters. Width, height, opening side, number of partitions are all editable parameters that define the type of opening. They are also hosted elements. Doors and windows can only be inserted in a wall, which is their host element. Because doors and windows are openings in a wall and share many common parameters, the method of insertion and editing is basically the same for both elements. To insert a door or a window, activate the tool in the toolbox, select or define a type, and move the pointer over a wall. As you move the pointer over the wall, you see the preview of the opening. Click to insert it. Depending on the type of opening, you will also need to define the opening side and direction. Move the pointer in one of the 4 quadrants around the insertion point and click again to confirm. The preview shows the final configuration of the opening. Doors and windows can be inserted by their start point, end point, or midpoint. Use the menu to change the insertion point. You can also define the position of the door or window by a given measure. When you are inserting an opening in a wall, you can see 2 dimensions that show the distances of the opening from the closest edges or corners of the host wall. Since a wall can have different intersections on its 2 sides, simply moving the pointer closer to one edge of the host wall will show the distances for that side. To lock a distance, enter the value on the keyboard, then move the pointer to choose which of the dimensions is to be locked. Click to confirm. Once inserted, an opening can be modified very easily. Select it and click the double arrows to flip its direction and, if available to the current type, its opening side. You can move the window along its wall by clicking its midpoint, and you can stretch it by clicking any of its 4 points. Let's explore now the parameters that control behavior and appearance of doors and windows. Click the tool icon to open the Settings panel. The settings panels for windows and doors are very similar and share many parameters. The panel contains 2 tabs, Geometry and Options, each organized in sections. Use the Geometry tab to choose the family of window or door. Windows have 6 families: empty opening, generic window, simple window, casement, single or double hung, and sliding. Depending on the family chosen, some parameters may be disabled as not applicable to that family. The next section provides the fields to specify the width of the opening, which can be entered either as rough or nominal width. Rough width is the actual width of the framed opening in the wall where the window will be installed. It includes space for the window unit itself, plus allowances for shimming, insulation, and adjustments during installation. It is usually slightly larger than the window unit to ensure a proper fit. Nominal width is the labeled or named width of the window, typically used for ordering or product reference. It does not account for the full installation requirements. Nominal width is equal to the rough width minus the side dimension A of the reveal. Next, you define the reveal, that is, the section of the wall that is between the window frame and the interior or exterior surface of the wall. You can choose one of 5 types of reveal and specify the dimensions of each of the sides. To define the vertical dimensions of the opening, you use the fields where you enter the rough height of the opening and the height of the sill, which is the distance from the floor level to the top of the windowsill. Then you specify the options that control the alignment of the opening to the exterior or the interior side of the wall. An optional offset from the alignment side for further control on the position of the frame. And last, the insertion point. The insertion point can be at the start, middle, or end point of the window. By default, the window is inserted by its frame, or nominal width, but you can choose to insert the opening by its rough dimensions. The Options tab contains the parameters that define the frame of the window or door. You can specify the dimensions and the relative position of the jambs, stiles or casements, and the sill. Depending on the current family, only some of the parameters may be accessible. You can resize the fixed elements, the moving elements, and the inset. Modifying the opening direction, for example, in the case of swing doors or casement windows, also modifies the configuration of the frame elements. You can choose to add a sill to the opening. The dimensions of the sill that you can define are outer and inner projections and side projections on both sides. For a greater detail level, you can choose to add a casing on one or both sides of the wall and specify width and thickness of the trim. For opening families that support it, you can enter the desired number of partitions. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or requests for other videos, don't hesitate to let us know using the comments section.